It's more than twice as much as Ontario. And it's this success that has convinced us we need to do more. The Saskatchewan Trade and Export Partnership, STEP, and its 400 member businesses have done a tremendous job expanding trade and developing new markets for Saskatchewan products. This budget increases funding to STEP by $325,000, about 10%, to assist in increasing access to new markets. STEP's success in agriculture exports would not be possible without the hard work of Saskatchewan farm families. Our government is proud to say that we are fully funding farm income stabilization programs again this year, and we will devote $234 million to pay our share on these important programs. We're also devoting $16 million to agricultural research and development. In recent weeks, our Agriculture Minister has announced important changes and improvements to the crop insurance program, including more diversified crop coverage and improvements to wildlife damage compensation. We'll continue to protect the best interests of agriculture and Saskatchewan family farms by constantly striving to improve ag programs as we did this year by moving administration of programs to right here in Saskatchewan. Our government is committed to reducing the burden of government regulation and red tape for businesses across the province. In the Ministry of Finance, we have introduced a Taxpayer Service Commitments and Standards Code to improve public service to taxpayers and vendors. Last week, we announced one-stop shopping for businesses, a single point of access for business services provided by government rather than having to deal with several different government ministries and agencies. At the Ministry of Advanced Education, Employment and Labour, we have established a Canada-Saskatchewan Rapid Response Team to help workers and businesses affected by layoffs to find the help they need more quickly. This program has provided support to about 4,400 people, including 1,200 who have avoided layoffs by taking advantage of the federal government's work-sharing program. We know, too, that a strong performance in our economy and our booming population growth in the last couple of years have put pressure on the housing market. The gap between the cost of renting and owning has grown, making it tougher for renters to move up to their own home. So in this budget, we are establishing a new Head Start on a Home program to allow more people to own their own homes. It'll provide low-cost, fixed-rate mortgages to qualifying families so they can purchase a new home. In the weeks to come, the Minister of Social Services will provide more details on this exciting new program that will provide the opportunity of home ownership to 1,000 Saskatchewan families. This program is just another example of the forward-looking plans of the government. We're also moving to improve the Saskatchewan pension plan. We've asked the federal government to increase the annual contribution limit from $600 to $2,500 a year, which will help those with no company pension plans, including self-employed and those working for small businesses. This budget will also provide needed support for those who need a hand up from government. This year we will provide a 4.8% increase for social services. This not only maintains benefits for those who need the help, it provides new funding for a number of important initiatives. For example, there's $5.4 million more to help operate 144 new child care welfare spaces built in 2009-10. There's a $4.4 million increase for expanded foster care, more spaces for the intellectually disabled, and a $9 million increase to provide more support and services for foster families. This year we will also provide community-based organizations with a 1% increase in their budgets. This brings their overall base operating increase to 13.3% since our government was elected. We think that's progress, and we've been ever mindful of the promises we made to Saskatchewan people. One of those promises was to hire 120 police officers over our 4-year mandate. We'll keep that promise and we'll be hiring another 30 officers later this year. Over the past 2 years, our government has made an unprecedented commitment to addressing the infrastructure deficit in our province, investing $2.3 billion in hospitals, schools, highways, municipal projects, and other much-needed initiatives. This year, this government will make a further $632 million investment in infrastructure, bringing the total capital investment to nearly $3 billion over 3 years. As part of our capital investment, we'll spend $302 million on highway projects this year, the second largest highway capital program in the province's history. This will allow us to continue to work on important multi-year projects like the twinning of Highway number 11, continuing working on the Louvain Drive interchange, building the Yorkton Truck Bypass, and moving ahead with 270 kilometers of highway construction under the Rural Highway Strategy. We're also continuing with a number of infrastructure projects through the Ministry of Municipal Affairs. We've devoted $61 million to federal-provincial projects that have to be completed by March of 2011, and another $52 million for projects that will stretch over the next few years. Overall funding for federal, provincial, municipal infrastructure and programs increases by $48 million, or 72% over 9-10. These are all important priorities for Saskatchewan that require additional funding. That is why we're introducing a series of modest changes to liquor markups while still maintaining competitive liquor prices in Saskatchewan. I'll note that thanks to historic income tax reductions introduced in 2008, Saskatchewan individuals and families still pay among the lowest provincial taxes in Canada. In fact, a two-income family with $50,000 family income will pay just $1,270 in 2010, less than half of what would be the same families paying in BC, Manitoba, or Quebec. In recent years, governments of all stripes have followed the well-worn path of bigger government and increased spending. That path is not sustainable in the long run. That is why we have chosen a different path. We have chosen to make the right decisions today because we know what it means for our children tomorrow. The budget delivers a forecast $20 million surplus in the General Revenue Fund and keeps debt from growing this year. This budget also leaves $511 million in the Growth and Financial Security Fund to provide the security we might need along the way. This budget is balanced, forward-looking, and responsible. Mr. Speaker, this path we have chosen is not the easy path, but it is the right path to ensure Saskatchewan's economic momentum continues. It is the right path for the new Saskatchewan, the growing, optimistic, self-assured Saskatchewan, where we are looking to the future with confidence and with hope, and where we know without a doubt that our best days are still ahead. Thank you.